Iran-Israel news today. Jordan has another anti-Israel, pro-Gaza march. Tehran, IRNA Jordanians again filled Amman's streets to support Gazans and denounce the US-backed Israeli massacre. According to IRNA, thousands of Jordanians rallied on Tuesday night after Abu Ubaidah, spokesman for Al-Qassam brigades, called for it. Abu Ubaidah implored Jordanians to support Gaza's oppressed more. On the 200th day of the Zionist regime's invasion of Gaza, protesters yelled in support of the Palestinian people and resistance outside the Israeli embassy in Amman. Since the Israeli state launched its homicidal war on Gaza, Amman has seen various protests calling on the authorities to cut ties with the Zionist dictatorship and end all agreements with it. Former gatherings got violent after Jordan's security forces shot tear gas and rubber bullets to remove protesters who yelled against the Zionist regime and the US and Arab countries for their silence on Israeli misdeeds. The Israeli and Palestinian economy have suffered greatly after 6 months of the Gaza war. The war has destroyed nearly all economic activity in Gaza, and the World Bank says it has hurt Palestinian firms in the occupied West Bank. As Israelis celebrate Passover, the startup nation tries to recruit investors. Jerusalem's old city cobblestones are hauntingly quiet. The holy locations that are open have no lines. Visitors should fill all 4 quarters of the old city after Easter and Ramadan and during Passover. Israel's Central Bureau of Statistics reported 68,000 February tourists. That's down significantly from 319,100 visitors last month. While it may be surprising that any visitors come through Jerusalem during such turmoil, many are religious pilgrims from throughout the world who have prepaid for their trips. Zach's Jerusalem Gifts was one of a few establishments on Christian Quarter Street in the Old City, occupied East Jerusalem, that opened when I passed. There are no people. After the Iran-Israel conflict last week, business decreased again. We hope for a tremendous miracle after the holidays. Not just in Jerusalem's Old City do they need a miracle. Since the Gaza conflict began, almost daily firefights with Hezbollah on Israel's sensitive border with Lebanon have compelled the Israeli army to block much of the area and move 80,000 civilians south. The border has compelled a similar number of Lebanese to leave behind. Another economic sector struck heavily in this portion of Israel is agriculture. Due to its proximity to the border, Ofer Pashko Moskovitz can't visit his Misgav AM avocado farm. However, he wanders in wistfully among the trees to see his money falling on the ground. Pashko says he must pick in the orchard for the next season. If I don't pick this fruit, the next season will be quite poor. He claims he lost 2 shekels, $530,000, 430,000 pounds, this season due to avocado pickers' inability. Agriculture and tourism are modest elements of the Israeli and Palestinian economies, yet they support thousands of people. How does the big picture look? S&P Global downgraded Israel's long-term ratings to A+ from AA- last week due to market uncertainty over Israel-Iran tensions and the Middle East war. Israeli GDP fell 5.7% in the fourth quarter of 2023 due to confidence loss. However, many Israelis claim the country's high-tech and startup sector is more war-proof than imagined. The coastal city of Tel Aviv is 54 kilometers from Jerusalem. Perhaps more importantly, it's under 70 kilometers from Gaza. Sometimes it's easy to forget that Israel is fighting its longest war since 1948. Families play in the surf in the early summer sun, couples enjoy lunch at open-air beach restaurants, and young people play guitars on the green spaces between the coastal road and the Mediterranean. An economically dynamic and rapidly rising city provides the backdrop. They joke that Israel's national bird should be the crane, the mechanical kind, says John Medved, founder and CEO of global startup investing platform Crowd. Medved, a positive and optimistic person, shares that Israeli startups received about $2 billion in investment in Q1 of this year. One of our best years ever. Israel-engaged people stay engaged. Even yet, Medved says Israel is still the startup nation and a smart investment. At least 400 multinationals operate here. No multinational has closed in Israel since the conflict. Elise Brezis partially agrees with Mr. Medved. Israel's economy is remarkably resilient despite the latest quarter's GDP results, according to Bar-Ilan University's economics professor. Tourism exports have decreased. Brezis claims imports fell. So the payment balance is fine. The problem is that the statistics doesn't show a bad condition in Israel. Professor Brezis sees a societal malaise in Israel that goes beyond economic data. Though Israel's economy is strong, its society is not. Imagine saying, wow, his income is high, but he's depressed. He's wondering, what will I do with my life? That's modern Israel. The Palestinian vision beyond the separation fence between Jerusalem and Bethlehem is grim if Israel's viewpoint is mixed. Tourism is crucial to Bethlehem's economy in the occupied West Bank. Dr. Samir Hasbaun, chairman of Bethlehem's Chamber of Commerce and Industry, says travel stopped instantly after October 7 last year in the place where Christians believe Jesus was born. This war began when Hamas assaulted Israeli villages surrounding Gaza, murdering 1,200 civilians, seizing 250 captives, and starting the war. Many Palestinians depend on Israel's economy, but after October 7, Israel virtually closed off the landlocked West Bank, destroying their lives and employment, Dr. Hasbaun adds. The Bethlehem governorate is closed, he claims. Only 3 of the Israeli security barriers' 43 gates are open. Therefore, 16,000 to 20,000 Palestinian people from our area working in Israel lost their income instantly. According to the Chamber of Commerce, local Palestinian workers in Israel earn 22 billion shekels, $5.8 billion, annually. You can foresee the impact on the economy, says Dr. Hasbaun, who worries about younger Palestinians as the war continues and the Israeli and West Bank economies disconnect.